Hey, everybody, welcome back to another Tuesday morning edition of your personal development. I am your host, Joel Dunn. Says it right. How do I do this? There, that way, because doing reverse mirror makes it so much harder. Guys, today is going to be one of those fun ones that I love doing. It's inside my mind. The things that I go through, the notes that I take, the things that I journal, the things that I hear, the things that I read that are impactful for me, but I also love to share with you. These are the things that I create lessons on, I do posts about, I do lives on, I do reels on. Guys, these are the things that I am currently learning. And I could also say currently struggling with. So when you're listening to these, they're going to be all over the place because they're all random thoughts. So why do I do these if nothing's in order and it's pure chaos? Is because my hope is that one of these things connects with you. One of these things gives you an insight that gives you impact that could change your life, that could get you to do one additional action, that could change the thought process that you have about yourself and your value. So these are some of the things that I've gone over in the past 2 months. So as I read these things out, it's one of those kind of less interactive Zooms and more just me telling you what I've written down, what my notes are. And I also love during this time to share the importance of journaling. Guys, journaling is so important because it gives you the ability to organize your thoughts, or in my case, they're disorganized. But then you can go back and reread, relearn, rethink the things that you heard, and they can internalize in you. It also gives you the ability to go back over the years and see the things that you were dealing with, or see the things that you were learning about, or see the way that you felt about things at a specific time, which is great because it can also show you how far you've grown. So I can't stress to you enough the importance of journaling, if not every morning, at least bare minimum once a week, guys. That way you can start this habit and it can help fortify your knowledge, fortify your information and the things that you're doing so that you can look back and see how far you've come and the things that you've learned that you could actually go and share with others. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to go through and share quite a bit of my thoughts for the past few months, the things that I wrote down, the things that I heard. So you may have heard some of these before because I probably did a couple trainings on them or I've done a couple posts, but this is the stuff that has helped me so far this year. And the first thing is, and this seems to be a consistent theme for me this year, is the thought processes on consistency. Because consistency compounds while occasional brilliance fades. You don't need more time, you need more focus. Time isn't the constraint, your choices are. Great outcomes aren't built on great days, but on consistent ones. You can't just count the days when it's easy and say, this is when I'm going to work. Each day moves you closer to your goal. No day is a single hero, and no day is a single villain, because perfect days don't compound. Consistent ones do. Everyone gets knocked down. The difference is who stays down, and that's not you. When you're on the ground, you'll hear people saying, that's not fair, or that shouldn't happen. The longer you lie there, the louder those voices become. Getting up isn't easier, but it is the only way forward. Next one was, in personal development, leverage is all about identifying the key habits, skills, and relationships that will impact your life. It's about focusing on your energy, on the critical few rather than the trivial many, about finding the points of maximum leverage where small changes can cascade into massive results. And guys, we tell you to do that with your business all the time. Focus on the ones that matter, the ones that are doing the work, and stop dragging the ones who are kicking and screaming. All right, here's some really tough ones that I said to myself. Do you really want your goal, or do you just like saying it because it looks good on social media and makes you feel like you are doing something? So, what are you going to do today that will impact all of your 2025? Success loves preparation and consistency. Simply put, you only get credit for achieving. The reason you want credit for trying is because you want it to cost less and be easier than it actually is to achieve it. The problem with society is that we only see and recognize the success after it happens, and we marginalize the time, cost, and grit it took to make happen. When we're on the journey and 1/10 of the resistance comes up, we didn't anticipate it, so we bail on the 90% of the things that we say we wanted. So stay consistent in your action, in your activity, and look towards achieving, because it's going to cost more than you thought it was going to. Interesting thing about marathons is, who's ever watched a full 24, 26, 32 super marathon, 100,000, the people that do these long distance runnings, who's ever watched an entire race? Most people don't. Most people watch a marathon at the beginning and the end. And that's the difference between watching and actually running a marathon. The difference is that running one and pushing through that middle that nobody sees. A lot of the times you'll see people start a marathon. The people that end the marathon are the finishers. They're the ones that know when to run and what to do when nobody's looking. The same is true for your business. It's a marathon combined with a boxing match with no defined end. You don't know if you have to run 27 or 300 miles, how many times you're going to have to sprint, how often you'll have to sprint, how many times the wind will get knocked out of you, and how many times you'll get knocked down. But the goal with your business is to keep going, because no one will see the success until you push through all of those things. Yeah, this one was a tough one to write down. If you want to feel better, blame others. If you want to get better, blame yourself. Oof, that was tough. Goals aren't the finish line, they are mile markers. See, for me, we've hit multiple goals, and that's so important that you need to create multiple goals for yourself. And they're not the finish line, they're the thing that you point back to and go, that was a point in time when I got to this. This is when I accomplished this. If you get to a goal and that's the end, you're done. Your life wasn't designed to be done until it's done. Your life was designed for you to continue to grow until you're done. So make it a choice today to have mile markers and not goals that are done. You will be excited for a week or two. When the excitement ends, that's when the actual work starts. And we see it. If you rarely want to do the things, you have to do the things past the 2-week go. So look at the things that you're doing and have confidence past the excitement, past the emotion, because that's when you will become successful. Confidence in public comes from being disciplined in your habits in private. This was one that I shared with our leadership team. How can I count on you to bring this team to victory this week? Have you asked your team that? Have you asked the people that you're working with? How are they planning to contribute to the team's victory? Because it is a team building together. Every day, ask yourself, how am I going to make my team better? Here we are back on consistency again. I told you it's been a theme this year. Long-term consistency is more powerful than short-term intensity. But if you want to truly change your life, you must be long-term consistent with short-term bursts of intensity. That is how you achieve lasting success. How many of you want to improve your life? How many of you want to improve your leadership? How many of you want to improve your team? The easiest and most effective way to implement it is through accountability. This is absolutely true for me, and I know it is for everybody that hears this. But the problem is everybody fears the word accountability. But when you understand that accountability is the key that unlocks success, you shouldn't have to be afraid of it. Obsess over substance, not status. What endures is what matters. The hardest truth about happiness is that it's a choice. But self-pity feels safer than responsibility. So most people choose that rather than choosing joy and happiness. Overthinking is the biggest waste of human energy. Trust yourself, make a decision, gain more experience. There's no such thing as perfect. You can't think your way into perfection. Just take action. To God, your future is already history. Guys, that one's awesome. Let's say that one again. To God, your future is already history. Why would God give you more if you haven't already maximized what he gave you? It's your job to use the talent. It's his job to bless it. He can't bless what you don't do. When it comes to time management, think in quarters. Your results today are based on the work you did 90 days ago. These results will have a future consequence. So if you want to be somewhere in your future, know that the work that you're doing today may not show up until the end of next quarter. Are you playing to win or are you just in the game? Those who are playing to win have a defined strategy and play to carry out the goal and the win. So what is the game you're playing for your business? What is your scoreboard to let you know if you're winning or if you're down? Anyone can learn to play the game. Few take the time to master it and become champions. Winners increase their odds by playing more. And the truth is, if you're not winning right now, it's probably because you're not getting in the game often enough, running enough plays, or taking enough shots. Every person who exists is a person Jesus wants to love. Guys, that one is powerful. That one should be something that you write somewhere and remind yourself every single day. Once something is obvious and working, people tend to underestimate it. Say that again. Once something is obvious and working, people tend to underestimate it. They're always looking to try and do new things instead of looking at what actually worked and continue to do more of that. Most people quit before they reach their best work. Excellence lives in doing just a little bit more of what works than others. This goes back to creating your habits and surrounding yourself and designing your life. Some people have just structured their lives for failure. Is that you? Are you intentionally structuring your life for success? Stop believing the lie that doing nothing or even a little will change things. Doing and doing a lot is what moves the needle. Do you need to reset, refocus your why? Did it change? Is it the same? Is it why your energy has been drained? Is because you've decided that that's not the thing that you should be doing? It's not the energizer behind what you're doing. So maybe it's time to refocus and reset your why. Because what the why is probably the thing that you're most afraid to admit that you want. If your current why is based on a fear or what is expected of you, it's based on something you already know or something that will challenge you and change you. So take a look at your why and see if it's truly yours or if it's an expectation of others. Also, what is the weekly income number that is worth your time? Is it big enough? Remember, time is the most valuable resource you have. You only get to spend a minute once. After it is passed, you can't get it back. God has sent this gift of a business to change your life and the lives of those around you. Stop squandering it, or He will take it back and give it to someone who will take it to the level that He requires from you. If you really wanted it bad enough, you would be doing the work that's deserving of your dreams. Your success will not be accidental. It will be by design, determination, and discipline. Stop complaining and competing and start accomplishing and achieving. To be honest, you're not clear on what you want. That is why you're not having the success that you are putting on your dream board. You put the things there to check the warm and fuzzy box and give yourself the feeling that you're doing something. I have that goal box, but you're lacking the conviction and intestinal fortitude to do what it is required to reach them. And that is why you're frustrated with being stuck where you're currently at, doing just a little of what's needed instead of doing the actual work required to reach what it is that you want. A good partner multiplies your strengths, a bad one multiplies your weakness. A good partner hides your weakness, a bad one hides your strengths. Remember this: your choices determine your trajectory and where you go in your life. Waiting for the perfect condition is how otherwise intelligent people keep themselves stuck. While you wait for perfect conditions, others are out there creating them. An imperfect solution that exists outperforms a perfect one that doesn't. So, what you build matters more than what you could have built. Momentum is everything. You're either improving or regressing. If all it takes is want, then why aren't more people successful? Why does your motivation and performance sit on a never ending roller coaster? You won't change for yourself, but you'll move mountains for something that you love more than yourself. That is why you need to do the things in order to get them where you want them to go. Because your why doesn't need to be amazing, it just needs to burn hotter than your excuses. That's why your why is the most important thing and why we cover it all the time. You don't have what you want right now because it's not more desirable than your feelings or excuses. Set unreasonable goals and expect to hit them. You are an extraordinary person who should live an extraordinary life. How do I know this? Because God has only made one of you for all of eternity, and that is enough. Your future health is not set in stone. Your transformation today could lead to a better life this year. And let's see, I'm to the last. Where is it? What you are aware of, you can be in control of. What you're not aware of is in control of you. Stop waiting and start doing what is required so that you can have the best life ever. Because yesterday you said tomorrow. Don't keep that cycle going. Most people lack the confidence to go big. They prefer the dopamine boost of getting lots and lots of busy things done, but they really aren't making progress. You don't grow simply by doing more. You grow by doing more of what matters most. All right, guys. I know that was like drinking out of a fire hose. Make sure you take the time to go back, listen to these again, take notes, and put in the comment which one was your favorite. I know there's a couple that were really rough in there. Obviously, that's me speaking to myself. So don't get mad at me for the ones. If it hurt you a little bit, maybe that's the same pain point that I have. You have the same thing. But guys, take this information, use it, go out, do incredible things this week. I hope you have an amazing day, and I hope your day is as awesome as you are.